Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Compendium of Discomfort with me, Michael, and as you can see, I got a haircut, so that means the last video is about 1 month ago, and nothing happened in between. I watched a lot of movies, I didn't record anything, so sorry for that. So today we're back to talk a little bit about manga. These two. Well, better, 2 short stories from these two. These are short story collections by Yoshiharu Tsuge, and they're gonna be quite relevant today. Mr. Tsuge is a manga artist who is probably not that famous abroad. I never heard before from him, but he seems to be quite famous in Japan, and he's now already 88 years old, and made quite a lot of interesting manga. And the 2 stories that we're going to talk about today are Umibe no Joke and Honyara do no Bensan. So Umibe no Joke is basically like scenery, like sea, beach, seashore scenery, basically. And Honyara do is a kind of snow cave, and that's Ben-san, so Mr. Ben from that snow cave. And the first one with the seashore is a nice short story around the seashore, who would have guessed, where a girl meets a boy and they spend some time together and go swimming in the storm. And the other story is about a traveler who travels to, I forgot where, somewhere in the snow, and needs a place to stay, so he stays at this little, very traditional inn, and goes on an adventure with the old grumpy owner. And very simple stories that mostly live from this from the atmosphere and this idea of 2 kind of lonely people meeting and building a relationship in a very short time. And these 2 stories are proof that manga adaptations can be very, very good, or in this case, perfect, to the degree that the adaptation is better than the original. I would say, even though these original stories are really, really wonderful and amazing, but we have Mr. Shô Miyake. You might know him from movies like Small, Slow But Steady or All the Long Nights, which were like huge critical successes, played all the festivals and so on. My personal story with Mr. Miyake goes back to his documentary The Cockpit. I'm not sure, is that... That's not his debut movie, but one of the really, really early ones. And it's basically a documentary about a hip-hop group producing an album. And I remember back in the days, it must have been 2015 at the Nippon Connection, I completely missed that the then new Obayashi movie 7 Weeks played there, and instead watched that one, and for the most time I regretted that. And nowadays I'm like, okay, now easy ways to watch 7 Weeks was released by Third Window Films, and I've seen it before. And The Cockpit, I don't know if that ever showed up anywhere again, so I feel like I took a chance to watch an early movie of one of the now great directors Japan has to offer us. Yeah, saw something that maybe most people will not get the chance to watch. If we look at Letterboxd, 139 people locked that movie, and yeah. So he decided to adapt these two short stories into a movie that's called Tabi to Hibi, and it's amazing. Let's show you. Maybe this is okay. Yeah. So he not just took these two stories and adapted them like one-to-one, which is usually what people want. People just want to see the same again, and just in a different execution. This one surely has the advantage that most people will not, or at least in the West, most people will not know the manga. Probably most people will not even know that this is a manga adaptation. And I think they're usually the best manga adaptations when it's not that obvious. I mean, nowadays they have a much better reputation than a few years ago. But I remember when, for example, that Netflix Death Note movie came out, people were still like, manga adaptations or anime adaptations are always bad. They're never as good as the original or even better. And this one surely proves them wrong. Because what does he do? This first short story about the seashore with the two people, he adapted pretty much the same way it's in the manga, but he changed the focus a little bit more on the female character, and he just put in so much like scenery and beauty and wonderful music. He just stretches it out quite a lot by just showing this beautiful landscape and giving us a true feeling of traveling, because traveling is one of the main themes of this movie, as the title says. By the way, the English title is 2 Seasons, 2 Strangers. He just puts in so much that the manga can't do, because like manga can't really catch the atmosphere of a real place in that way as a movie can do, because you can just see, I don't know, the sea and the trees and everything. It's just like, yeah, in the wind, and it's just beautiful just to see people going through this landscape and experiencing it with us. Is truly wonderful to look at. And here we must talk about the cast a little bit, because here we have most important female character, Yumi Kawai, and she just walks around and is gorgeous, as we would expect. And then she meets this guy, and they have a little talk. They walk around, and they're like, hey, let's meet again tomorrow. But tomorrow is a bad storm, but they meet anyway and go swimming. And I felt like the atmosphere at the end of the story is a little bit different from the manga. In the manga, it's more like the girl is very impressed by the guy who just keeps swimming in the storm, and this one has more of a feeling of danger to me. I don't know. I felt like, oh my god, something terrible is about to happen. And so this is pretty much the same as we know from the manga. It was a little more like movie-esque interpretation, a little bit more modern take by focusing on the female characters. So it all makes sense. And it's pretty much what we would want from a manga adaptation. But Miyake already threw some stuff in there that's really weird because before this even starts, we see like a notebook with a hand and a pen writing in Korean, and it is clear that this is a movie script that's being written. That's clear from the start. We know the story that we're watching is not real, but it's just as important as the real story is, and it's very similar. Like I said, like when I described the story of the manga, it's pretty obvious. It's two stories, like two pretty much lonely places, two lonely people meet and build a connection. And yeah, but here the first story is a movie adaptation of this manga, basically, in a world that then transforms into the second manga. So these two manga by the same author basically exist as a movie and reality inside this movie, which is already pretty amazing. And the other thing is, this hand that writes the story will be the protagonist of the second story, the person who travels to the snow country or whatever, snow place. And it's a woman. And it's a Korean woman. So he not just changed the gender, he changed the nationality. So he puts a focus on this foreign person who struggles writing a movie script for a Japanese movie. So it's a very much a movie about words in which there's relatively little dialogue. It's a very image-heavy movie, but about words and about people making connections. This is really interesting and fun. And of course, we have this aspect of being foreign in this country and struggling with your existence. And the fun thing is, when this first part is over, it already became a movie that's being projected in some kind of university, and the students ask her some questions, and she talks about her experience writing this movie. And this is just so brilliant, like how this is all put together and constructed. This is so wonderful. And then we have tragic events that happens, which sets up this need to travel and explains this loneliness that the main character feels. And this main character is, by the way, played by a lady whose name I can't pronounce. You can see it on the screen here. She was, for example, trained to Busan or Seoul Station, and as a journalist. Good. She does a terrific job here, but I have no idea how to pronounce that name. I'm very sorry. And the man she meets, it's played by Shinichi Tsutsumi, who you just can't recognize. He's just full of hair and beard and stuff, and you have no idea that it's him. He's terrific as usual. You might have seen him in, for example, Our Little Sister, or One Must Call, or Monday, or a lot of other fantastic movies. One of the more recent ones that maybe people have seen is the second Fable movie, which is terrific and wonderful, and you should watch it. Anyway, so by the way, we have maybe two more actors who I was mentioning. That's Shiro Sano, who was, for example, in Happy End or Violent Cop, and Yoichiro Saito, who was, for example, in Look Back, or The Long Nights, Eureka, or Call Me Chihiro. And yeah, anyway, so this second story here is a little bit, there's a little bit more change from the original. It just keeps all the elements, rearranges them a little bit, puts a little bit more emphasis on the main character being a writer. In the original, it's a manga author. Here, it's a script writer. And there's a little bit more focus on this writing process, and a little bit more going on between the two. And it's really nice, really lovely, really beautiful. And just the atmosphere, this contrast between the nice seashore where you can swim in the sea and now the snow. It's just gorgeous. It's really funny. It's really charming. And like I said, just these changes that Miyake put in there compared to the original, just gives it so many more layers and depths. Not that the original wasn't already amazing and great and really nice and charming and wonderful, but this is just more. And of course, it's much more modern. I mean, the original stories are quite old. It's like 67 and 68, so pretty old stories. So this is like modernized version, and it's great. Like, I don't know how much better can you adapt manga into a live action movie than this. I have no idea. This is just absolutely perfection in that regard. It's an unbelievably atmospheric movie. It looks gorgeous. The music is beautiful. The acting is terrific. It's just a perfect movie. And I'm pretty sure it's a perfect movie for foreign film festivals. Critics will love it like hell, and everybody's gonna enjoy it. It has a lot of Japaneseness, I guess. It's a little bit quirky, a little bit weird, but has this, kind of daily life philosophy that many people always see in Japanese stuff. I don't know. It should be quite appealing to a festival audience that's maybe a little bit more on the intellectual side. In Japan, I don't know how successful it actually was. I don't think it did so amazingly well, at least when I watched it. There were very few people. I mean, it was a late show. That means like 8 o'clock in the evening, but there are generally not that many people there. And I don't know how well it actually did, but it's absolutely fantastic. And I guess if it's out of the big theaters, I will go to the mini theaters, and it will do fine. But I guess the focus here is foreign film festivals, and just gonna blow everyone away. I hope it's a wonderful, wonderful movie. That just, I mean, even like this, it's sounds like it's like this very deep intellectual thinking movie, but it's actually quite entertaining and charming and funny and witty, and like the big adventures they go on. So mild spoiler is they go koi hunting, and stuff is gonna happen, and just how that turns out in the end is just hilarious and wonderful. And it's just, I don't know, it's probably one of my top movies of the year. Just having read the manga just made it so much better than before. Now, like, I recently talked to a student, and he asked me, like, what did you like the most about it? And I was like, the atmosphere and how these people get together and how they build their connection, even though they might be quite different people. And then I asked him, how about you? What do you think? And he was like, what he changed compared to the manga, and how that gives it a whole different dimension. So I went there and bought the manga and read them, and yeah, totally right. Absolutely stunning, amazing, wonderful. And yeah, just a beautiful portrayal of loneliness and finding joy in a little silly adventure, I guess. Yeah. And yeah, this is whole aspect of her being a Korean in Japan, and a lot of self-doubt is there when she talks about her script writing. It seems like there was a job done for money, not for passion, and she feels very incompetent. All these things gives it so much more, makes it so much more interesting. And I can just repeat myself over and over again. I've got to watch it again, and then maybe I can go into more detail. But I just want to recommend this movie, and I hope you get the chance to watch it. It's so good. It's so fantastic. And it's just funny that this guy who's like early 40s, I guess, so still pretty young, comes from this hip-hop background, I guess. If you look at pictures of him, he certainly looks like that. And now he makes this very profound old man movie, I would say. It's just fantastic. So yeah. As much as I loved Small, Slow, But Steady, which made some really, really great choices, especially with the sound design in a movie about a deaf woman, a fantastic choice. It's so good. I loved that. All the Long Nights. I loved this little bit less. I thought it's a very good movie, but it didn't blow me away like this. But this one is now like peak Miyake, I would say, the best movie I've seen of his. And let's see how well it does worldwide. I hope it gets released everywhere and everybody can enjoy it and see it. It's just a director to keep an eye on. Let's see what he does next. It will be very exciting. So thank you very much. That's it for today, and I've got to record some more videos.